Now to more on the arrest Wednesday of a Thompson, Connecticut man accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl from Webster back in May. Josh Besaw was arrested at his house. Police say DNA lifted from his cigarette butts led investigators right to him. Police add the 35-year-old Besaw kidnapped the girl in Webster, drove her to a wooded area in Thompson, Connecticut, and committed the alleged assault. And then he dropped her back in Massachusetts in an unfamiliar neighborhood in Dudley.
I would also always encourage parents, talk to your kids, have those conversations, know where they're at with the advent of social media and devices with the cell phones. Know what your kids are doing.
So how do you start those tough conversations with your kids?
Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo spoke with a licensed therapist to find out.
Go, run, go.
Somewhere between the crack of a bat and a slide into home.
Going home, I'm gonna tag you out. Yeah!
Grandfather Anthony LaPlante knew he needed to have a tough conversation with the energetic grandson, who only wants to explore more and more. Our conversation with LaPlante sparked a conversation with his own grandson while our cameras were rolling.
You know how I tell you, to not run across the street?
An abduction in Webster, Mass. Of a 12-year-old girl that only lasted about an hour and a half. But for any parent or guardian to imagine what can happen in the blink of an eye.
You just get sick, you feel ill, and then you just got to think of what you can do for your own.
Western Mass News spoke with a therapist at the Gandara Center about the importance of starting that conversation early.
Have scenarios, even have a role play, oh, I'm a stranger.
So if we're at the park and I turn around to get water, let's say, some guy comes over, hey, blah, 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 blah.
And to keep the dialogue going as the child grows. From the innocent-sounding lures that are almost cliche.
They go and say that they either lost their pet, and these kids are kind of naive sometimes.
Up to the case of the Webster preteen, where the abductor reportedly asked her for help with a personal problem.
You're a child. You cannot help anybody. If somebody needs help, you need to come to me.
Something just happened to a 12-year-old girl.
It's hard to introduce sadness into a child's world. But teaching them to follow their instinct.
We go to the gut feeling, and then they say if you feel not easy about what is going on, you have to remove yourself from there.
Is easier to do than imagining a world where they're hurt, lost, or worse.
I want to talk to you more about that because playing baseball with you, it's a joy, but I won't have that no more if someone steals you.
Reporting for Western Mass News, I'm Audrey Russo.
And that therapist, Trujillo Acosta, also says that the phrase stranger danger can be misleading and that it's important to teach your child about anyone who's unfamiliar, even if the child has met that person before.